morning, afternoon, evening, whichever one it is for you, Year 10. It's the one you've been waiting for. I can hear the excitement from here. Today we are going to be doing the written response to the extract question which we've been building up to, and we're going to do a little mini self-evaluation. Now, we're going to spend maybe 10-15 minutes building up to it, then you've got half an hour of writing, and then you've got 10 minutes at the end just to go over what you've done, check for any errors, and have a little look at how you think you've done, which I think probably gives you 5 minutes off. So, that's quite nice, isn't it, really? You'll want to think before you start about the specific skills that you want to practice or focus on for this question. Now, in the same way that all literature exams demand the same analysis skills, here you might want to focus on providing alternative interpretations. Some audiences might think this, others might think that. You might want to focus on analysing individual words or phrases. You might want to focus on developing your points using words like furthermore, in addition, also. You might want to focus on making sure that your quotes are relevant to your points. I don't know what you want to focus on, but you definitely want to have something in mind that is a skill you're going to aim to practice in this piece. So what I'd like you to do is make a note of that skill at the top of your exam paper, just so that you can remind yourself as you're going through it, this is what I'm going to practice. For this lesson, you'll need all the good stuff you always need: pen, paper, yada, 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 and also your planning sheet from yesterday with all the details filled in, and the annotated extract you've got from Act 3, Scene 2. You might want to have the No Fear Shakespeare version as well, but you also might find that if you're trying to look at this, it slows you down a little bit and you don't write as much as you would like to. Before we start, let's look at a sample paragraph for this essay, just to remind ourselves of some of the key skills that we should be demonstrating, and to remind ourselves of the sort of tone. For some of us, it's going to be a long time since we wrote this sort of paragraph, so I'll just read it through quickly and then I'll talk to you about some of the things which it's doing well. It's not perfect, but it is good. An audience may view Macbeth's state of mind as troubled. This is revealed through Lady Macbeth, who greets him with "How now, my lord?" Shakespeare's use of an exclamation mark suggests she is concerned or possibly alarmed. Furthermore, she follows this up by asking him, "Why do you keep alone?" which develops this idea. Firstly, the fact that Macbeth has been alone and isolating himself suggests he is struggling. Secondly, the range of questions Lady Macbeth asks as part of this statement implies that there has been a breakdown in their relationship of sorts, as we know that normally they rely on each other and trust one another. Shakespeare uses all of these points to build up an image of Macbeth's troubled state of mind. So hopefully you've already picked out some of the things which are successful about this. But very quickly, the key thing is that it stays on topic. It says it's going to talk about how troubled Macbeth's state of mind is, and it does. It also makes good reference to the audience and understands that it's a play written by Shakespeare, and so refers to Shakespeare because it's him that's done the things. It's him that makes us react to Lady Macbeth in a certain way. It's him that makes us react to Macbeth in a certain way. It's him, ultimately, Shakespeare, who gets across Macbeth's state of mind. Final thing, just some of the vocab used. So words like furthermore, suggests, implies, are really useful phrases because they lead you into analysis. Rather than saying shows or means or tells us, these words help you to make sure that you're analysing the implicit meaning. We're not just re-explaining what the text is, what's happening in the text, which is a really easy thing to do with Shakespeare. You just retell the story or retell what's happening in the extract, but we're actually analysing how Shakespeare is presenting Macbeth to us and what an audience might. Some last minute reminders just before you start. We went over these yesterday or the day before, or maybe both, but it's really important that you say something about the start, the middle and the end of the extract. If you've got a highlighter, it's a good idea to make sure, just have a look at your page, have I highlighted something at the start, middle and end that I'm going to talk about. Don't forget to include short integrated quotes. Remember, it's in the question itself that you need to refer to the text, and they're expecting you to do that by picking it out. It's printed there, it's in front of you. That's definitely what they want to see. Make sure you focus on the question. Remember, we're asking what it shows an audience about Macbeth's state of mind. Don't be tempted to talk about Lady Macbeth. Don't be tempted to talk about Banquo. There are no marks for that. And there's no marks as well for talking around the extract. So nothing from before, nothing from after, just what's in the text. Now, ideally, you're aiming for 3 decent paragraphs. So you're going to have to write one every 8 minutes or so. And that should end up as around a side and a bit of A4. For some of you, if you've got really small handwriting, it might be less than that. For some of you with massive, chunky, great big, thick handwriting, then it might be more than that. Who knows? And importantly, use your planning sheet to help you. It's all there for you. You should have your quotes, you should have your topic sentences. The only thing you won't have is your conclusion, which we will do together at the end once we've done our little mini evaluation. So don't worry about that, but use all those things to help you. I tried to put some fancy timer in here, but I've got no idea how it works. So pause the video, give yourself 30 minutes, no more, no less, and write up your response. In a moment, we're going to do a mini evaluation where we look at what we've written, but it's really important before we do that to take a 5-minute break. If you're looking over something that you've just read, you're really going to struggle to see the mistakes that you've made. So make yourself a bowl of cereal, a cup of tea, go tell your mum you love her, send your teacher an email to say how much you appreciate all the hard work they've put in and that you know you'll do really well at GCSEs, not only because you're working hard, but because they're working hard as well. Whatever you want to do, but take a break for 5 minutes. So hopefully you're either caffeinated or relaxed or feeling like you've done a good deed. Maybe you got yourself a tasty mini milk. But now we're going to have a go at our mini evaluation. So make sure you don't spill that tea on your work and read through your essay. And the first thing you're going to do is you're going to underline or highlight each of these. So every time that you've used a quote, every time that you've referred to Macbeth's state of mind, you use the actual words of the question, Macbeth's state of mind. Every time you referred to the audience, and this one's a little bit trickier, but every time you've analysed a quote, exploring the language Shakespeare uses. And we talked about this earlier. A good sign of this is you're saying things like this suggests or this highlights. And where you're probably not doing it, you might be saying things like this means or this shows. So have a look, highlight those 4 things. Finally, have a look at the whole essay and see, did you discuss something from the start, the middle and the end of the extract? So spend 5 minutes, read through it, highlight, underline, circle, however you want to do it, those various bits. Nearly done for today. Just one final thing, which is to make a note at the bottom of your essay of 2 things that you've worked on really hard and that you think have gone well. Now, hopefully these are the things that you started off the lesson by saying you wanted to practice, but they might not be. And finally, one thing that you're not sure about or would like direct feedback on. So it might be a skill, it might be an aspect of the exam, it might be something else. If you can't think of anything, don't worry, your teacher will give you feedback, of course, but it's really useful if you can direct that and take charge of that process. Put your pens down, relax, maybe ask a little brother or sister